So y'all, stick with me while I undo my hair, right? I was on Instagram and basically people were saying that this white guy has a black granddaughter. Now, the post had the white guy and his wife in it, right? And his wife was a white woman. So I'm like, I'm sure his children are white, right? Maybe he had some biracial children through a previous marriage or something, but I'm going to assume that his children are white, right? So his grandchildren would be biracial, okay? Now, I used the term mulatto, right? And everyone was arguing with me, oh, biracials are black, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. You already know how that goes, right? And then people were saying, oh, mulatto is a slur. Now, this is my question. Hold on, let me go ahead and play the intro. Now, my first question is just straight up, right? If mulattoes can say nigga, then can't niggas say mulatto, right? Because last time I checked, nigga is a racial slur as well. Yet, y'all are okay with mulatto saying it. Drake says it in his music, and I don't hear y'all complaining, right? But y'all up under my comment when I say mulatto, talk about, oh, that's a racial slur. What? Like, what are we talking about here, right? But then this is my next question. Let's take it a step further, right? These same folks were in the comments telling me that biracials are black. We're all the same. We all go through the same stuff in this system of white supremacy. Now, in this video, I'm not even going to break down how nonsensical that is, right? Because quite frankly, we just don't, right? Now, that's not to say that biracials don't go through anything, but they don't go through what black people go through at all, right? But that's not my point. That is not my point in this video, right? All I'm going to focus on in this video is you all claim that biracials are black and we all go through the same thing, right? So we are the same, right? So I can say mulatto because I'm the same as a mulatto, right? Using your logic, right? Doesn't that make sense? Then this is the other thing. Now, this did not happen under this post, but this happens on a regular enough occasion, right? You all will try to equate black Americans being 10% white from slavery to us being biracial, right? So you all will say, well, Flower Tower, how can you call anybody out on not being full black when you're not full black yourself, right? So again, according to you all, I'm the same as a mulatto, right? So how are y'all clocking any tea concerning me saying mulatto? That's my slur to reclaim, right? Using your logic, right? This is exactly what I've been saying recently. Y'all got a lot of emotions and a lot of, oh, I really care about this, but y'all don't have a lot of logic. Like, this doesn't stand up to any amount of logic. It does not, right? But y'all will continue to pretend that it makes sense and continue to believe it because, again, you feel very emotionally charged about it. Y'all can't stand the cross-examination. Like, the argument falls apart. Whatever you're claiming falls apart as soon as anybody asks any questions or tries to apply any logic to it. If we all black, right, or I don't know, we all biracial, because in one breath y'all will say biracials are black, then in the next breath, oh, Flower Tower, you not black yourself because black Americans are 10% white from slavery. Y'all claim 25% white, which is completely not true. And that goes into the fact that you all keep pretending that biracials are black, so they keep being included in black studies. So, of course, they run up the white percentage if somebody's studying what percent white black Americans are or whatever, though, right? So, in one breath, y'all will say, oh, biracials are black. Then the next breath, oh, well, technically, Flower Tower, you biracial yourself because you 10% white from slavery, so you can't say nothing about nobody not being full black. And then the next breath, but you can't say mulatto, but mulattoes can say nigga, because mulatto is a slur, so you can't say that. But nigga's also a slur, so why can mulattoes say that? Well, because mulattoes is black, because we all the same. But yeah, you still can't say mulatto, though. Like, what, bro? Like, this shit feel kind of racist. I feel like y'all being racist, bro. Like, basically, you're not even black, but you can say nigga, right? And I can't say nothing to you about it. But if I say mulatto, then you checking me on that, oh, that's a slur. So you can use black people slurs, but I can't use your slurs. So we all the same when it's time for you to use black people slurs. But we not the same no more when it's time for me to use your slurs. Like, that feels very racist. And that's that having your cake but eating it too stuff that a lot of y'all do with black people, period, and then black Americans specifically. Because Other ethnicities of black people definitely do that to black Americans, but that's not what we talk about in this video. You want to have your cake and eat it too, basically. So even though you not black, you gonna tell me, shut your black ass up. I am black. Shut your black ass up. You can't question me about nothing, right? And use the N-word. But then when I turn around and I say, okay, well, since we all black, we all the same, I'm gonna say mulatto, then suddenly, oh, no, you can't say that. That's a slur. Like, no, I'm not vibing with this at all. And then also, I want to highlight one particular comment from one guy, because he was talking about, oh, I'm a biracial black man. I said that's oxymoronic. That directly contradicts itself, right? So then he says, oh, you wouldn't even be able to tell I'm biracial until you saw me with my mama, so, yada, 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 right? Then he said, yeah, when I'm with my mama, black people got the most to say. They the worst, so, yada, yada, yada. And I'm lost. Every time biracials say something like this, every time biracials try to paint black people as their ultimate oppressors, don't get me wrong. I'm sure black people do have a little something to say about you when they see your white mama. Be like, oh, okay, you eat your little casserole, you know. Okay, whatever, right? But you telling me that's worse than white people calling you the N-word and literally oppressing you because you're half black and literally not claiming you at all and treating you like a second-class citizen because you're half black? That's what you're comparing that to? Because when you come to the black community, you're worshipped. So there's no way you can compare the treatment that you receive from black people to the treatment that you receive from white people. Yet you sit here and you do. Because let's be for real. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? A lot of times, biracials are operating from a position of upholding white supremacy against black people. They use their unique position as like a buffer class to do that. Matter of fact, let me tell y'all something that happened years ago. I keep sharing this video, so you probably heard this story before if you've watched my videos before. But when I was about 15, I went to Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp, right? So for those of y'all familiar with the state of Michigan, Blue Lake is in Muskegon. But if you're not familiar with the state of Michigan, Michigan looks like a mitten, okay? And Detroit is I can't point because I'm using one hand to record, but Detroit is over here like in the thumb area, right? Blue Lake is on the other side of the state, on the other side of the mitten, right? And there was not a lot of black people there, okay? So I ended up in a cabin with a bunch of white girls, Asian girls, and this one biracial girl, right? And one day me and her were in the cabin alone, right? And she had a whole meltdown, okay? She was like, yeah, I have a lot of animosity towards black people because my black dad abandoned me and so and so and so. And I was just like, girl, okay. Like, because, girl, I'm in the cabin to take a nap during break time. Like, what are we talking about here, right? I was just like, oh, okay, like, what? But I'm saying this for a reason, right? I'm saying this for a reason. Y'all grow up with some shit like that, right? Knowing you're not black and knowing that you have animosity towards black people. And then flip it to a black person in 10 years. Oh, yeah, I had to discover my black. That's another thing. When I was in high school, right, I was speaking to this girl, and she was mixed. And I said, oh, yeah, us black girls, something. I forget what we was talking about. She said, oh, I'm not black, I'm mixed. I said, oh, okay, my bad, right? My fault. Never called her black again, right? Now, fast forward a couple years. We graduated from college. We were still friends on Facebook. And she posted her graduation picture. She said, black girl magic. And I commented, I said, I thought you wasn't black, you was mixed. You corrected me when I called you black back in, like 10th grade, right? And she said, oh, I had to discover my blackness, so and so and so. And I said, oh, okay, that's weird because I never had to discover my blackness. I simply am black, right? So yeah, I don't think that you can be black if you have to learn that you're black or discover your blackness or something, because black people are just black. We black all the time before we discover any sort of blackness, before it becomes cool, because that's what it was actually about, right? Because back when I was in high school, being black wasn't cool. That's back when people were making dark skin jokes. Oh, dark skin, pussy memes, so and so and so. That's when colorism was peak, right? But by the time I was graduating college, all of this stuff, oh, black girl magic, black boy joy, that had morphed into existence. So now that it's cool, now everybody black now. Like, what? Now, some of y'all about to be like, oh, Flower Tower, that's not all biracials. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But the fact remains that biracials aren't black. It doesn't matter. You could grow up loving black people, having a healthy relationship with black people. Guess what? You're still not black. And it's crazy because when I said this under that post, everybody was like, you being so hateful, so. What are we talking about here? Imagine if I said, oh, Chinese people aren't black. And somebody was like, you're being hateful. How am I being hateful? Chinese people just aren't black. Like, what are we talking about? What? How am I being hateful or looking down on somebody because I said they're not black when they literally are not black? Like, are y'all really this delusional? Anyway, I'm finna oil my black ass scalp. And y'all finna be like, Flower Tara, why did you take your hair down just to do that? Because I want to rebraid it. Like, I could have oiled it with the braids there. But yeah, some of y'all about to be like, oh, I oil my scalp too, even though I'm biracial, so I must be black as well. No, you only have a black scalp if you have two black parents, okay? So yeah, do with that what you will, buddy.